Hello everyone, and welcome to another story written by The Stranger. This story is titled Silver. I hope you enjoy. Why must a man board the train alone? His brown eyes evoke a hidden sadness as he rests his head on the frigid window. The other passengers are unaware of this as they depart from the train and go about their day. While most of them are heading home to see their families, the man is not. His family does not even live in this country. They are currently spending their time preparing for Christmas back in the United States. This, as you could imagine, made it quite peculiar that this man was currently located in the city of Zurich, Switzerland. As he walked into the station, he could immediately see a giant Christmas tree that had been placed in the middle of a large room. It sparked and gleamed like the stars that shined in the sky that night. The man gazed upon it as a feeling of serenity washed over him. This feeling, however, was not complete. It was more like a numbness of the body from deep-rooted anxiety. Within this, the man found determination, and it was this same determination that led him to Zurich in search of something that would finally quench his pierced heart. So with that, he made his way past the large tree and Christmas decorations and began his journey into Zurich. Tired and hungry, the man found himself wandering the streets of Zurich in search of something to eat. He eventually found a quaint little coffee shop in the city, which promptly served him hot coffee and a warm meal. He leaned over the bar top, staring at the recently polished floor. The employee behind the bar took notice of this as he polished the wine glasses. "Is something troubling you, sir?" the employee said. "It's just been a rough day," the man said. "I can see that. Is there anything I can help you with?" the employee said. The man looked up from sipping his coffee. "Would you know where I could find a silver fox?" the man said. The employee gave the man a confused expression. "I know of one, but why would you be interested in finding that?" the employee said. "It's for business purposes," the man said. The address given by the employee led the man across town to an older apartment complex. As he waited outside in the frigid cold, he noticed that the light above the door was flickering rapidly as if the bulb was about to go out. The man watched it flicker for a few seconds before suddenly the door swung open to reveal a frail old woman with messy hair wearing a tattered yellow gown. "Oh, hello! Would you happen to be the man who called me earlier?" the woman said. "Yes, ma'am. The employee from the coffee shop was kind enough to lend me your number. I take it he's a friend of yours?" the man said. "Oh, he is! I go to that coffee shop quite often. I assume you're still interested in seeing the fox?" the woman said. "I am. I saw on the news that you recently found one," the man said. "Yes, he was a scampish little thing. Why don't you come inside? It's colder than usual tonight," the woman said. The man obliged and let himself in. The apartment was small, with a few old pictures on the wall accompanied by an old leather sofa with a TV stand and a TV. The kitchen looked to be around the corner as the old lady retreated into the room and came back with 2 plates of apple strudel. This came straight out of the oven. "It's supposed to be for Christmas, but I figured it wouldn't hurt having some of it early," the woman joked. The man ate the dessert with delight. "Thank you, this is really good," the man said. "Of course! And you said your name was Marcel, right?" the woman said. "Yeah, that's my name. What's yours?" the man said. "My name is Anna. Would you like to see him now?" the woman said. "I would like that," Marcel said. "Excellent," Anna said. Anna led Marcel into the other room where a small bed lied in the corner. Under the red sheets was a small black snout that seemed to belong to the creature underneath. Muffled snores could be heard as its tiny head poked out from the cloth. The sheets behind it rose up and down as the creature breathed gently. "Come on, Carmen, there's someone who'd like to meet you," Anna said. The creature slowly opened its eyes and examined the room. It soon locked on to Marcel as its little ears perked up in curiosity. The creature then emerged from the covers and jumped down from the bed. Now on the floor, it made its way over to Marcel, sticking its snout out as it approached. Marcel greeted it with a warm smile. "Hey buddy, where'd you come from?" Marcel said, kneeling down to pet the fox. I only found one of them, I'm afraid. Its twin brother is still missing in the wilderness, Anna said. Marcel's smile fleeted as the realization set in. Oh, I see, Marcel said. He continued to pet the fox, however he was much quieter than before. Anna could see that Marcel was upset about something. What exactly was it you planned to do with the two foxes? Anna said. Marcel reached over to his bag and rummaged through it. He pulled out a new handheld camera with a long strap that could be worn around the neck. I want to take a picture of it, Marcel said. That's it? You just wanted to take a picture? Anna said. Yes, it's for someone else. Someone very special, Marcel said. Anna could tell through his eyes that Marcel was serious. You know, Carmen here has been trying to get out for weeks. I suspect he's deeply worried about his brother. If you're sure about this, I might allow you to take him with you to help find him. Marcel's mood became progressively better. Is that okay? I don't want to take him off your hands, Marcel said. Anna smiled. Without a second thought, she said, Marcel and Carmen walked alongside one another through a forest deep in the Swiss Alps. This was the place where Anna originally found Carmen, so this had to have been the best place to start searching. It became clear that Carmen could still pick up the scent of his brother as he began sniffing the ground immediately. You got a scent? Marcel asked. Carmen lifted his snout off the ground and looked back at Marcel. He then continued his search up the riverbank in the direction of two colossal snowy mountains in the distance. Marcel averted his eyes to the water, which was crystal clear and lacked any kind of pollution. As his eyes glanced across the river, he noticed a large object bobbing up and down. As the two got closer, it was revealed that the object was an abandoned rowboat. It still had its oars on either side, however the owner was nowhere to be found. Hello? Is there anyone here that owns this boat? Marcel said. Suddenly, Marcel could hear a call from someone nearby. Get in the boat! Someone called. Across the river, Marcel could see a heavily distressed man wearing blue jeans and a brown jacket. He looked to be some kind of hunter. As Marcel looked at him, he quickly realized that the man was looking directly behind him. Marcel turned around as the outline of something was creeping through the bushes. Its head slowly emerged from the brush. It was the head of a lynx. The creature lunged at Marcel as he began running to the boat. Carmen then interfered, colliding their bodies together and hitting the grass. Marcel jumped into the boat as Carmen tried to hold the lynx down by its neck. The lynx then broke free and began chasing Carmen. Marcel rowed the boat downstream as Carmen followed from behind. He jumped into the boat before the lynx could swipe at him. Once they were a safe distance away, Marcel tried to catch his breath. He began hyperventilating on the side of the boat as the lynx continued to stare at them. Are you alright? The man yelled. Yeah, I'm fine, Marcel said. Be careful of those things, they can creep up on you, the man said. I think that's been established. I take it this is your boat? Marcel said. Yes, it is. You can keep it. I have another one back home, the man said. Oh, thank you, Marcel said. As Marcel and Carmen drifted upstream, the sense of imminent danger was ever present. This search was even more daring than Marcel had previously thought. The boat glided across the water like it was floating on a cloud. Carmen sat in front, taking in the cool breeze that loomed in the air. Marcel gently rowed the boat as the sound of paddles hitting water could be heard faintly. The scenery around them was of pure beauty. The trees were as green as they could be, while the mountains above were presented as if they had been sprinkled with white powder. The animals nearby drank from the courteous stream before frolicking off into the forest. Despite this, it gave Marcel a lonely feeling. It felt like a moment that should be shared with someone, the person he was doing this for. Marcel didn't want to think about it. Every time he did, despite it being so long ago, it opened a small hole in his heart that didn't heal quickly. He looked at his camera, rubbing the lens with his thumb as it hung from the strap. He just hoped, through his mission, it would make him feel like he did the right thing. Still, the forest was calm and peaceful. No one could be sad in an environment like this. As dusk set in, Marcel realized that he had to set up a fire for the night. After gathering some sticks and branches, Marcel used the lighter from his bag to light it. Soon after, the sun fell back to the earth and it was pitch black. Marcel looked around frantically for any wildlife that might wander into their camp. Unfortunately, he did not bring enough supplies to keep him stable in the wilderness. If he had known that he would have to traverse this terrain, he would have prepared better. Carmen curled up into a ball on the ground and got comfortable. "You like it out here, don't you?" Marcel said. Marcel sat in silence for a long time before he spoke again. "You know, my daughter would have liked this place. She only got to see pictures," Marcel said. Then Marcel fell to silence again. "She would have liked to meet you in person," Marcel said. Carmen perked his ears up as he looked back at Marcel. She had always wanted a picture of you and your brother. She was obsessed with you two when she read about rare silver foxes online. When I became a photographer, she begged for me to come to Switzerland and find you. Sadly, I never got around to it," Marcel said. Then Carmen could see the sadness in his eyes. It was a feeling that no train passenger, coffee shop employee, old woman, or hunter could ever notice. "She's dead," Marcel said. "She fell ill one day. I took care of her in a hospital for a long time before she finally passed. It's been 6 years since it happened. I started a new family with a woman I love very much, but I still felt like I owed something to that little girl, like I could have done more for her. That's why when I heard on the news that a silver fox had been found in Zurich, I just had to go. I want to put it by her gravestone so that she will always have it," Marcel said. As the words left his mouth, Marcel felt cold. He held his arms against his shoulders and shivered. Carmen got up from his comfortable position and approached Marcel. He gently got on Marcel's lap and went right to sleep. Marcel wrapped him in his arms and held him tight. "Don't let me go," Marcel said. The march up the mountain was a treacherous one. Carmen pinpointed the ascent of his brother to a snowy ledge atop a long, downward slope. Marcel marveled at his surroundings as thick gusts of cold air left his mouth. Upon further investigation, Carmen discovered a large cave opening that eroded into the mountain. Suddenly, Carmen could hear a faint whimper coming from inside. Marcel heard it too, quickly rushing to Carmen's side as the two of them approached the unknown sound together. Marcel pulled out his flashlight and shined it into the cave. Leaning against the rocky wall was a hunched-over silver fox cowering in fear. It looked as if it had been viciously attacked, as there was slash marks in various locations on its body. As soon as he saw his brother, however, his demeanor changed as he quickly rushed over to Carmen. Carmen became ecstatic as they began playing with each other and jumping around excitedly. They nuzzled themselves up against each other in joy as Marcel watched the affectionate display. "It's good to see you two together again," Marcel said. He led the two outside as they continued to prance around. Marcel then reached into his bag and pulled out his camera. "All right, you two, it's time to take a picture," Marcel said. The two foxes bunched up together and looked innocently at the camera. The flash went off and the picture was taken. As Marcel pulled the camera away from his face, tears began to welt in his eyes. He felt like he had finally done something right by his child. That's when Marcel looked up and to his horror saw a group of angry feral lynxes stalking them from above the entrance. It finally dawned on Marcel that there was a reason Carmen's brother was hiding in that cave. Marcel ran frantically down the mountain as the lynxes were in pursuit. He knew that there would be no way to outrun them on a flat surface. This made it so that he had to climb down along jagged surfaces. Carmen followed just from behind as he tried to look out for his injured brother. After sliding down to a ledge, Marcel ran to a toppled-over tree that served as a makeshift bridge. It led to another ledge, however, if you lost your footing on the way across, you would be sent plummeting to the bottom of the mountain. Marcel took his chances, quickly balancing on the old wood as he made his way to the other side. Marcel turned around to look for Carmen, who was still sliding down to the ledge. His brother, on the other hand, was not so lucky. Above the slope, Marcel could see that Carmen's brother had already been caught by the lynxes. They swarmed him before he even got a chance to move, biting and clawing at him ferociously. Carmen cried out to his brother from below, only to realize that he was already dead. That's when Marcel noticed a small clump of fur poking out from around the corner of the ledge where Carmen resided. It was a single lynx. As it ran to the old tree, Carmen realized what it was doing. He tackled the lynx, hitting the tree and sending it falling to the bottom of the mountain. Carmen then managed to push the lynx off the edge as well. Carmen was now stuck. There was no way to get across now. Marcel could only watch his friend from the other side as the other lynxes looked to be finishing their first meal. "Carmen!" Marcel cried. Even with the imminent danger behind him, Carmen stared at Marcel from across the gap. His eyes were sad just like Marcel's was the entire trip. But this was different. His eyes also looked calm and at peace, like he knew what was going to happen but didn't care. He just looked on in spite of everything. Even with Marcel's cries to him, he did not budge. There was nothing more he could do. The first lynx pounced Carmen as the others followed. Marcel ran down the mountain. He didn't do it out of fear of being eaten, rather because he could not bear to witness the fate of his friend. Once Marcel was at a safe distance, he dropped to his knees and started crying uncontrollably. Under his whimpering breath, only a single phrase could leave his lips. "Don't let me go," Marcel said in a whisper. The drudge down the mountain was a treacherous one for Marcel. His gut churned as he finally turned the brass knob of Anna's apartment. She opened the door as tears streamed down his face. "Oh my God, what happened?" Anna said. Marcel did not answer. He simply walked inside and sat on the couch. "He's gone, isn't he?" Anna said. Marcel looked at her emotionless. His heart continued to sink from the weight of what had happened. Anna sat next to Marcus on the couch. "Did he at least get to see his brother?" Anna said. Marcel slowly nodded. "Then you did all you could do. At least he didn't die alone," Anna said. "But I failed him, just like I failed my daughter," Marcel said. "Is that the special someone I've been hearing about?" Anna said. "Yes, she's long past, unfortunately," Marcel said. "Oh, I see," Anna said. They sat in silence as Marcel tried to gather his bearings. "You know, I don't even have anyone left in my family. A lot of them have passed just like your daughter did," Anna said. Marcel looked at Anna. "You mean you live here alone? With no one?" Marcel said. "Yes. This time of year can be especially lonely. Most people have some place to go for Christmas, but for me, I have none," Anna said. "So this whole time you were planning on spending Christmas by yourself?" Marcel said. "Yes," Anna said. Marcel looked into the kitchen where a bag of the leftover apple strudel sat on the counter. "Would you like me to spend it with you?" Marcel said. Anna looked at him and smiled. They heated up some food and began telling stories to each other all night. Though the pain was still in Marcel's heart, this made him feel good. They talked and talked until Marcel finally called it a night and went to bed. The memory of Carmen would forever change Marcel. Instead of grief, he could feel joy in cherishing the time the two of them spent with each other, even if it was short. Marcel finally made it to the cemetery. His flight had had complications, so it took Marcel 2 days to finally come back home. He dropped off gifts for his family prior to coming here. They understood why he had to go. The cemetery was quiet, with only a few rustlings of leaves in the wind to keep it from being dead silent. Marcel held the picture in his hand as he walked to the tombstone. On its surface, a picture of a black 9-year-old girl with beautiful brown eyes could be seen. The tombstone read, "Elaine Walker, daughter of a proud father and proud mother." Marcel approached the stone with a calm demeanor. "Hey, little girl, Merry Christmas," Marcel said. "I've brought you something you've wanted for a very long time," Marcel said as he fondled with the picture in his hand. "I finally got the picture you asked me for. I wanted to bring it to you so that you could have it forever." Marcel said as he kneeled down and leaned the picture against the tombstone. Marcel looked at it in contemplation. Finally, after thinking for a very long time, he spoke again. The truth is, even though I started a new family, you were always going to be a part of me. It felt like by moving on, I was leaving you behind. And I didn't want that. I did this because I knew that it would be special for you. I did it so that I could find some closure after what had happened. But most importantly, I did it because I wanted you to know that I never forgot about you. Thank you guys so much. That was Silver. Be sure to like and subscribe, and as always, have a wonderful day.